YouTube, what is good? It's your boy Dre and I'm back with another video. I just finished up a super long day, 8 to 7. Right now it is about 7 o'clock and I want to go ahead and do this intro. So today we are going to be doing a nice mid fade. We're going to blend out his arches, clean up his corners, and we're going to be doing one of my favorite things with the beard. We're going to do a nice deep blend into it. So without further ado, man, hopefully this helps you out in some way, shape, or form. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into it.
Clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it. I'm today's trending topic.
So to start off this cut, I'm going to go ahead and establish my bald line right there at the top of the arch. So I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to go directly to the back and establish that line. And the reason I didn't go across with it, just follow throughout the entire head, is because I risked the chance of making this guideline higher on one side than the other. So starting in the back allows me to make sure that the guideline in the back is center and that my fade will be symmetrical on both sides. And after we create that line, I'm going to go ahead and bald everything under it out, letting the weight of the trimmer do the work. And you'll see I bald it out a little below the bottom of his ear, and that's because we're going to be doing a pretty deep blend into his beard. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that knocked out the way. And to get it closer to the skin, as you guys know, we're going to use the foil shaver. This is the Babyliss foil shaver. And I'm just going over the areas where I use the trimmer, and I'm not going up all the way to the top of the line with the shaver. I'm kind of flicking out as I get close to that line. Now for the next step, I'm going to come in with the lever all the way open on my Wahl magic clips, and I'm going up about a finger's width here, and I'm going to go over the line a couple more times just to make sure that it's truly a clipper open. And now to get rid of this line in between the bald and the open, I'm going to come in closed and then gradually open the lever as I just showed you. So I'm coming in closed here, and I'm tapping at that line, going up just slightly. And as I move up, I'll go ahead and open up that lever. And then by the time we get to the lever all the way open, this line should pretty much be blended all the way out. And we're just working at it, taking our time, not trying to just burn through this step and risk, messing up. And now for the next step, I grabbed my number 1 guard and we're coming in with the lever open again. And we're going to go up about a finger's width here as well, maintaining that same shape that we started off this bald fade with. So it's going straight back. And I'm going to fade every line out as I move up instead of, establishing all my lines and then blending down. So after I do this 1 guard all the way open, I'm going to come in with my half guard here in a few moments. But before we get into the half guard, I wanted to lighten up that line a little more. So I went ahead and closed that number 1. And it isn't going to get rid of that line fully, but it is going to lighten it up. And like I said, this is our half guard with the lever all the way open. And we're going to go ahead and attack that line. And then as you can see, if that open isn't doing the work, I'm going to go ahead and close that lever just slightly until we get that line pretty much blended out. And I would say this is one of those haircuts that you will get pretty frequently in the barbershop. And if you know how to do this haircut in a timely manner, meaning you don't take super long on it, you can be pretty efficient and make some good money, because this is a pretty common haircut in the barbershop. So beginner barbers, if you're learning how to cut hair, make sure you try to lock down this haircut. So this is a 2 guard all the way open for the next step, and we're going up right above that 1 guard all the way open. And with this, I'm not trying to create too harsh of a line. I'm trying to come off the shape of his head. And that's because I want this to be the biggest guard that we use before we get into clipper over combs to blend into that length on top. And now I'm gonna go ahead and close that 2 guard just like we did with that 1 guard to lighten up that line just a little. And now to go ahead and get rid of this line, I'm gonna come in with my 1.5 lever all the way open, and we're gonna attack this line as well. And the reason I'm coming in open when attacking a line or trying to take out a line is because when we come in open, it kind of gives us a safety net, as opposed to if we came in with the clipper closed and we take off too much hair. So if you start open, you can always go ahead and close the lever, but if you go closed, you know, you can't put the hair back on. So right here, I'm gonna lever all the way closed in that 1.5. And as you can see, it isn't fully getting rid of that line. So in this detail process, I'm gonna go back to my 1 guard all the way open, and that's gonna go ahead and bring everything together. And like I said, this is my 1 guard lever all the way open, and we're really using the corner of the blade here as we get up into those darker lengths, the longer lengths, because I don't want to take off too much hair. So I'm really utilizing the corner of that blade. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and go to the other side, and we're going to follow the same exact system. So we're coming in with our lever all the way open, going up about a finger's width. And this side gets a little blurry towards the beginning phases of the blend as far as the camera lens, so be patient. It is going to get clear again, but I apologize, I was not paying attention. And then to get rid of that line, I'm going to come in closed, and as I move up, I'll gradually go ahead and open up that lever. And a lot of times when I'm explaining you know, the fading process and steps and systems, as you can tell, it can get pretty repetitive. It's because I found a system that works for me, and I use that system when I attack every single haircut, right? And obviously every haircut is different, but when you have a system, it allows you to attack a haircut with confidence, and then you can make minor tweaks and adjustments to it as you go, right? But if you go into every haircut with a different system, that's how you get lost. That's how you end up taking too long. So find a system that works for you, attack every haircut the same way, and then make your minor tweaks. So that was my 1 guard all the way open, and now I'm coming in with my 1/2 guard open here, getting rid of that line. Staying real consistent, real patient. We want to make sure that we're staying clean as well, not getting lost in the fade. Because I know early on when I used to start cutting hair, I used to get lost in the fade. I would be like, man, what guard did I use here? What guard should I use here or use there? So find that system, find that process that works for you, and try to master and perfect it, and then you can always try new things. So this is our 2 guard open. Again, we're trying to come off the shape of his head, not trying to dig into that parietal ridge too much, because we don't want to give him a faux hawk look. And now this is our 1.5, and we're coming in open, and then we'll gradually go ahead and close that lever until we get it nice and blended out. And I can already tell right here that it's not doing the job. So I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and guess what guard I use next. And if you guessed right, it is the number 1 guard with the lever all the way open. Doing the same thing as I did on the other side, just trying to attack that line, really using the corner of the blade as I move up towards the top of that blend. And as you can see, this blend is really starting to come together. So now the left and the right side are pretty much complete. So we're going to go to the back, and we're going to connect those 2 sides. So I'm blending down here in the back just because it seemed a little easier. So I used that 1.5, and now we're going to go ahead to our 1/2 guard to get rid of that line I just pointed out. So we're coming in open. And then after we complete these fading steps, I'm going to go ahead and grab my clipper over comb to blend into that length on top. But that's right after we finish these steps. So to get rid of that last line, I'm coming in closed on my clipper, and as I move up, I'm going to go ahead and open up that lever. And as I do so, you're really going to see this blend come together, start to look a lot more finished. And you can see he has a divot there in the back of his head, so I'm being careful with that, trying to put as much attention to detail as I can to get it blended, and it's coming out super blurry. Alright, and now we're gonna grab the clipper over comb like I said. So I'm coming in with my comb here, and then I'm gonna flare out slightly, and any hair sticking out of that comb I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of with my clipper. And the setting that I have on my clipper is no guard with the lever all the way open. And like I've said before, the lever all the way open against a flat top comb that I'm using for clipper over comb is pretty much a number 1 guard. And that kind of helps me gauge when I'm trying to blend into the length on top. And now to go ahead and fine tune everything and really soften up this blend, I'm coming in with my thinning shears here and attacking those dark areas. And I'm doing the same thing that I did with clipper over comb, coming in with my comb, and then as I move up I'm going to go ahead and flare out and then attack those with my thinning shears. And that is really making everything come together. And now for the client's lineup, we don't do anything too crazy, but since my client is thinning, we go ahead and clean up his corners. And that's because when you line up a thinning hairline, it gives it a much thicker illusion, and that's because you're getting rid of all those thin hairs and taking it to where the dark hair is, so it makes it appear a lot more fuller. So that's why we're cleaning up his corners here, and it's making his hairline look a lot fuller, if you know what I'm saying. And now we're gonna go ahead and finesse his hairline. So I'm combing it down, and then I'm gonna comb it over to the right just a little bit. And I was just, trying to do my best to make it look as full as possible. And now we're going to get into the beard blend. And really it's just an opposite fade. So I came in with the lever all the way open. And then to get rid of the line, I'm going to come in close and then gradually open it. And the length on his beard is essentially a 1.5. So we didn't want to touch any length on it. We went ahead and kept it. And now we're going to come in with our 1 guard. And I came in closed with that 1 guard. And then I'm going to come in open. And right there, that pretty much blended into the length that he already had on his beard. Now we're going to go ahead and clean up his mustache. And now we're going to line up the bottom of the beard, which is honestly one of my favorite parts. I know it tends to get overlooked, but it's oddly satisfying when their neck hair is overgrown. So I went ahead and just cleaned up under his jawline here, trying to give a much more chiseled and clean look. Now I'm going to go ahead and bald all those stubbles out. Get it nice and clean and smooth. Now we're gonna follow it up with the shaver just to get it a little closer to the skin. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I use the shaver on the client's bottom of the neck, I never feel like I can get it super close to the skin. And I know this client doesn't bump up too much when we use the razor, so I went ahead and grabbed my straight razor. And I'm trying to get rid of all those hairs that the shaver couldn't get. And now we're going to hit his hairline and the top of his beard with the razor. And this is really going to make that line up pop, just add some longevity to that line, make it look a lot more sharp and crisp. So I'm stretching the skin in the opposite direction of which I'm using the razor. And as you can see, man, this cut came out super clean. And this is going to be a simple cut. So there's going to be no product, no enhancement, just a fade, beard line, beard fade. But this is how the client came in. This is how we left. Family, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. But again, I will catch y'all next time.